Women are meant to have babies. And there's just something about being a young woman without a child that's so confusing. It's so confusing. I call it the feminine mystique. It is the mystery of why a woman acts the way she does because she doesn't have a child. That's real. This is a real thing that only women can feel. It's not something you can really explain. I guess I'm trying to explain it right now. But we're meant to have children. We are. Whether it be with the right person or, if you build a family or whatever, your body as a woman is meant to have children. So being a young woman in this life, I find myself looking at babies, looking at children, looking at how my life could look like. I long for a child, but I don't want one. So this can naturally affect my decision making. It can affect my focus, how I distract myself. And, as I speak in a lot of my videos, there's a lot of women who don't want to have children. And I don't blame them. I mean, if you don't want one, you don't want one. But it affects us. It affects our brain chemistry as women because we are meant to have children. We are. So I'm not going to say that Mr. Meow Meows is a substitution for a child, but he brings a very big motherly instinct out of me. I find myself having a baby voice. Every mother who is a first mother, I believe, starts acquiring like a baby voice or something that is just relatable to the child because there's a different connection from a mother and child to a child and father. I'm not going to go into depth, but there's a relativity with women and children. I believe women are meant to have an inner child. Because how else are we supposed to look for the future for children if we don't even think for them? Does that make sense? Like, we can't think fully as an adult if we have children. We have to think like a child sometimes. Does that make sense? It does, right? Like, I think the inner child in women should be, on the more intelligent side. Like, we shouldn't get carried away with the inner child in us. That's where I feel like when we don't have children, we become this inner child, right? But when we have the child, we kind of have to go toward the more motherly route. But I just want to talk about myself. I want to talk about how I feel when I want a child. It's always when I'm on my period. It's always when I'm on my period. It's no other phase. Every other phase, I'm fine. Like, I don't really think about it. I'm not like longing for it. I'm not planning my future with a child. No. But when I'm actually menstruating, my body feels safe to think about it. It does. And I feel more susceptible to attracting children. I feel more susceptible to the baby voice. The baby voice is very real. And having Mr. Meow Meows in my life has kind of opened my eyes to being a mother of some sort. Like, I'm not a freaking mother. I know I'm not. I'm not claiming to be one. But there is very small instinctive things that I do that I feel like I would do it times 10 with a real baby. Right? Like, the baby voice. Like, I talk to Mr. Meow Meows all the time, and like, I'm not going to do the voice because I'm not going to embarrass myself. But the frequency in my voice goes so high, and I don't even feel like I'm doing it. I don't know I'm actually talking like this. It's very instinctive. And I just know a lot of women are very confused. A lot of women are very confused because when you don't have a child to have a baby voice with, you kind of do it to yourself. You do it to yourself, and then you put your own self down because this is an inner child in us. We are looking for a child to be an inner child with. Like, it's kind of, that's how I see it. I mean, anyone can tell me I'm wrong here, but this is just how I see it. This is how I feel it. I am a woman. I am a young woman in my 20s who does not have children, and I do believe we are meant to have children. That's why, I mean, I'm not going to say, okay. But when I'm on my period, there's just something about my longing for it. And I know a lot of women feel this way. It's very indescribable. And I don't think men feel this way. I don't think a man gets distracted by his body. And that's the one thing that separates a man and a woman is our bodily function, our hormones, and how our body freaking works. That's the only difference between a man and a freaking woman. It's our bodily instinct, our bodily functions. We all have brain chemistry. We all can learn the same things. But being a young adult in our 20s, a man is not going to be distracted by that thought. He's more distracted by, or actually, I don't know. A woman is distracted by the thought of a baby. That's facts. It could be any type of idea of a baby. It could be the idea of a dog or a cat baby. We need to supplement this baby longing with something. And not our inner child. The amount of times I'm hearing how women nowadays are just insecure little girls, okay? We are being labeled as insecure little girls because we don't want children. That's the facts. Everyone has their own personal story. Everyone has their own ups and downs in life. But women, naturally, we just want children. If we are confused, it's because we don't have a child. And if we have children with the wrong people, then we're even more confused. Then we're even more in our heads. Our inner child is completely dead, and we don't want, I don't know. Being a young woman nowadays is very confusing. It is. I don't know how else to put it, but it's up to us to overcome the inner child tendencies. We don't need to be a child. We don't need to be a child to get that vibe. I don't know how else to put it. It's just a maternal vibe. To be a motherly person. You know, you can adopt a cat and still be a motherly person. I don't know. That's just what I recommend. This video is kind of all over the place because, I mean, incidentally, that's just how I feel. I'm thinking about this, that, and the other. I'm thinking about how my voice changes with babies. I'm thinking about how I want a baby, but I don't want a baby. This is the woman's brain, okay? Breaking down, literally. So, thought I would put it out there and let people know that women are, we are instinctively our inner child. We are all our inner child, and it's a beautiful thing. It is a beautiful thing. We should never put it down. But yeah, thank you, and I'll see you later.